Woo! What did you achieve in your health goals last Ramadan and even the one before that? Did you achieve all of your health goals? Did you achieve all of your family goals? All of your social responsibility goals? All of your personal development goals? Did you? Well, if you didn't, I want you to be inspired this year to achieve all of your Ramadan goals. And so today, I, Dr. Hadiza Marilia Suleiman, your favorite holistic reconstructive surgeon, is going to share with you how I achieved, or rather, what I achieved in my health goals, some of my personal development goals, and some of my social responsibility goals last year and the year before that. And so if you want to be inspired, hold on so that you can know about some of these things. And so this Ramadan reset video, which I did last year, if you have watched it, you may have seen that I divided my Ramadan into thirds, just like how the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said we should divide our Ramadan into three, or rather, how he said, the first 10 days of Ramadan is for the mercy of Allah. The second third of Ramadan, which is the next 10 days after the first 10 days, is for the forgiveness of Allah. And then the last 10 days, or the last 9 days, or the last third of Ramadan is for asking Allah for Jannah Firdaus. And so I divided my goals into thirds, or rather, I re-evaluated all of my goals every first third. So after let's say on the 9th day of Ramadan, go through my goals, my various goals that I have listed for that particular year in Ramadan, and then I would see how much of it I have accomplished and I have stuck to. And that helped me keep on track throughout the whole of Ramadan. And so, watch on. Now, I'm going to be using this journal to be talking to you. You can see I have lots of journals that I'll be referring to in the course of this video, and that is to keep me on track so that I don't forget anything. I always keep these journals because I like to keep on track. I don't like to be, I don't like to be disorderly. And so when I have these journals, it helps keep me on track whenever I'm planning for my life and even for others' lives. So Allah's Messenger, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Indeed, in dates, there is a cure. There is a cure for all illnesses." All right? There is a cure in dates. I'm sure you're wondering why I'm keeping dates in this form. Can you believe that these dates are from last Ramadan? They were actually gifts given to me last Ramadan. And what I did was I ate some last Ramadan, and I also tied up some in these polythene bags so that I would be healthier even before Ramadan. So sometimes I take these dates with just tea without sugar, just tea with milk, and I'll take this as breakfast. And luckily, I still have some of these remaining. Now, dates played a major role in my Ramadan last year and the year before that. These are fresh dates. Now, these fresh dates were given to me by a family friend, and they're actually from her farm, from her little garden, rather. And I plan to take these to break my fast this year. I'm going to give some to some family and friends because it is known that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that broke his fast with fresh dates, with an odd number of fresh dates. You can see I packaged some here. I try to eat them regularly when I got them, but I realized I don't really like the taste of fresh dates. These are grapes, by the way. I tried to take them regularly, but I realized I don't really like the taste of fresh dates because they have this funny tangy taste on the tongue. But because it is sunnah, I plan on taking at least one to break my fast, and then I will take, let's say, 2 of these dried dates to complete the 3 sunnah. And so last year Ramadan and the year before that, I ate a lot of dried dates like this. We know that dates have been said to contain a large amount of fiber. And so they're good for your digestion. It helps your digestion go freely. And apart from that, they have a lot of protein in them. They have a lot of sweetness in them. And so you can even substitute them for your sugar. You can blend them in your smoothies instead of putting sugar or putting even honey. You can add them to your foods. They have a lot of antioxidants. They are excellent foods. It is known that Maryam alayhi salam was said to have eaten them when she was in labor. In fact, it has been studied medically and has been shown that dates have been known to have oxytocin-like properties. That is, they have the property of helping to induce labor, to make the labor easier, so to speak. And so, since we know that it has all these benefits and the fact that it is sunnah, I made sure that I ate a lot of dates last year. And I was opportune to be in a place where there were a lot of dates flowing everywhere, in the mosques, in the rooms. People were giving them out, and it was fantastic. They really did help my digestion. And of course, that sugary, that sweetness, that taste, of that lovely bursting sweetness in your mouth helps you to appreciate the wonderful nature that Allah has given us. And so, apart from the fact that I was very, very regular with taking my dates, I was also happy and very, very happy to be doing my iftar, so to speak, or should I say breaking my fast in a mosque. And so because I was in a mosque and people were passing out a lot of dates, a lot of fresh dates, more of dried dates anyway, a lot of fresh dates, they were passing them around, so that they could also gain their own reward. I ate a lot of dates. And mind you, they were not just plain dates sometimes. A lot of the dates were given in form of stuffed dates with stuffed coconut, stuffed, some with chocolate stuffed in them, some with chocolate covered, dates, and even sometimes pistachio stuffed dates. And they were all lovely, especially with tea. Yes. No tea, no sugar in the tea. Just take your dates. Cardamom tea or any form of herbal tea. Lovely. Mamma mia. And yes, if you are in a position where you could buy these dates and also share them with others, that is also really wonderful. People would really appreciate them. Now, for my iftar, for my main iftar. Now, after leaving the mosque, after breaking my fast with dates, performing my prayers, my Maghrib prayers in the mosque with my accountability partner, I'm going to talk about that later, I was able to go for iftar. And iftar in one of the years was in a buffet form, which was fantastic. Now, the way I avoided, or rather, should I say, we avoided eating a lot of junk food during the iftar itself was, let me tell you the secret, okay? The secret is, after taking your dates, you're taking your water, secondly, after the dates, then you take your fruit. Take a lot of fruits, take a variety of fruits. If you're in a place where it's in a buffet form environment, you can take a variety of fruits, watermelons, mangoes, guavas, bananas, depending on what kind of fruit is available, depending on what kind of fruit is served or available there, you take a large amount of fruits. Now, after that, what I did was I was able to take a lot of, yes, you guessed it, fluids after that. I took fluids in the form of soups, a lot of clear soups, lentil soups, chicken soups, pepper soups, pea soups, all sorts of clear soups. And even those that were not clear, delicious. Enough of that was, all that was enough to fill up my tummy. So actually, I didn't really need to eat a lot in the main meal because I'd already eaten, taken all those things beforehand. And so after the soups, the main meal consisted of, yes, a salad by the side most times, and then, of course, a little bit of the main meal, because by the time I finished eating all those things that I have mentioned before, I was actually very full. So that is the trick. Fill yourself with your roughage, a lot of fiber contained in the fruits, contained in the vegetables, contained in your dates, even your figs. I took a lot of figs during my suhoor, actually. Dried figs, lovely, fantastic. And that will help you achieve some of your health goals. Some of these things I'm mentioning. If you're opportune to be able to get access to these things, you will have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Ramadan, both for your suhoor and for your iftar. And so, as I said before, after taking my soups, um, my teas, I was so full. And so I didn't have any space for pastries. No, I didn't take a lot of, donuts. I didn't take a lot of croissant. I didn't take a lot of breads and things like that because I was already full after taking all of that. And I said before, of course, it was my suhoor. My suhoor consisted of mainly, I would say, about 65% of fluids. I would take teas, I would take beverages, I would take like chocolate beverage, take milk, sometimes even cold milk. I would take paps, corn pap, starchy paps made of guinea corn, made of maize, made of different kinds of cereal, and of course, yes, dates still, and then figs. And by the time I took a lot of that, yes, I forgot something also. Oatmeal, your Quaker oats, your oatmeal, fantastic. Sometimes with or without fruit. Sometimes just yogurt, fluids, with fiber, as you can see from what I'm mentioning. And that really helped me a lot, during my suhoor. And so, should we talk less about food and move on to other things? Should we? Okay, so let's move on to other things. How about your mental health? Mental health is part of your health. I'm not only going to talk about the fact that these are the foods I ate and this was what made me healthy during Ramadan by avoiding junk food and the rest. But how about your mental health? And how better to start with mental health if not mention the Quran? Yes, the Quran. You see this Quran? I have a story I'm going to tell you about these two Qurans. You can see this one hasn't been opened. This one has been opened. Now I told you that last Ramadan I spent my Maghrib prayer. I did my Iftar and my Maghrib in a mosque. And I happened to, what I usually did was I would go to the mosque with an accountability partner, let's say about 15 minutes, 20 minutes before the call of prayer, before the adhan, before the call of prayer, before iftar. And when I went to the mosque on one of these days, sometime during the second third of Ramadan, I was looking for a Quran to read and I saw this Quran, in the bookshelf. You can see it's quite big and it has very large handwriting. You can see that. And I loved reading it. It was fantastic. I loved it. It was so lovely reading it. And after that, I now made sure that whenever I went to the mosque, I would get this Quran and I would read it. I also made sure to look for it. And I bought it because this is not the one that was in the mosque. And guess what? I got a second one. I actually asked to get one. And before I got one, I had bought one. And yes, I got another one. Fantastic, isn't it? Yes. So I can actually keep this somewhere and then go with this when I'm traveling or keep it in different rooms and then gain the benefits. What does the Quran do to your mental health? What does it do to your mental health? Yes, the Quran calms you. It makes you orderly. It makes you reason better. Your mental health is better. You can take decisions better. And you will not regret reading the Quran. I would also like to tell you that I actually got a free Quran one day when I was at the mosque. It was not as big as this, but that also put me in a fantastic frame of mind. My mental health was top notch. I had this, I had my gift, and I was able to read my Quran wherever I went, not just on my phone. Usually I read my Quran on the phone, but once I got that gift of the Quran, I didn't get that from the wardrobe. I carried that wherever I was to read it because it was smaller than this. And reading the Quran, as I said before, keeps you in that frame of mind. It will encourage you to do better. And so I was able to do my tahajjud prayers most of the days of Ramadan. I would say that out of every first 10 days of Ramadan, I was able to do at least 7 out of 10 days. I was able to do my Taraweeh prayers, my tahajjud prayers. I woke up usually an hour before Suhoor, around 4 p.m., perform my tahajjud prayers, do some dhikr, and then go for my suhoor. After the suhoor, of course, since I didn't eat a lot of food, I took mainly fluids. I was not too heavy to still sit down and perform some dhikr before the Fajr prayer was called. After the Fajr prayer, he still sat down on the mat, still did some more dhikr, prayed to Allah, and read more Quran. It was fantastic. And so I would encourage all of you to be mindful, read the Quran. It will come for you, it will come as a mode of intercession for you on the day of judgment. Bi'idhnillah. Inshallah. You know. I'm not going to share what I'm planning on doing this year, but it is an easy way of reading the Quran. If you can read at least 5 pages of the Quran after each salah, it will go a long way in helping you complete the Quran this Ramadan. Now, for that frame of mind to put you in that calm nature to perform your shafa'i prayers, your witr prayers, your congregational prayers. Yes, that's another thing. I was able to perform a lot of my congregational prayers at the mosque. Yes, it was fantastic. If you can, as much as possible, try and perform a lot of your congregational prayers in the mosque, especially Fajr and your Maghrib and Isha prayers. It will go a long way. Fajr prayers, after praying, you can sit down and still perform some dhikr, pray to Allah until sunrise. And for the Maghrib prayers, when the sun is setting, you pray to Allah, you sit down in between Maghrib and Isha, and you still do some more prayers. It will give you that relaxing mental health, put you in that fantastic frame of mind. And yes, I was able to give out some Ramadan gifts the year before last, not last year. I didn't do it last year, but I did it the year before last. I gave away some gifts, and that still was fantastic for my mental health. It was fantastic for my mental health. We also know that some of the things that are important for your mental health is acts of service. Acts of service, not just by giving the sadaqah, as I mentioned before, by giving out Ramadan gifts, but acts of service to your close relations, to your close friends, the people closest to you. If you want to perform an act of service, an act of kindness, either in the form of sadaqah or zakah, do it to your immediate family members, those that are in the category of those that you can give zakah to. You can give sadaqah, of course, to anybody, but make sure that the people closest to you, your relations and your friends, benefit from you first before going outside your home, outside your environment. Go to your neighbors, help those that work with you, and also those that you work with at your place of work, isn't it? Before going out to your the local community, to the local communities around where you stay, the state where you stay, before going to your state itself, before going to the local government, and then the state itself, and then the country where you live, or even outside internationally. Okay, so as much as possible, perform those acts of service to those that are closest to you. It will go a long way in improving your mental health and put you in the right frame for your Ramadan. Now, what about your accountability partner? I mentioned before that I was with my accountability partner in the mosque just before Iftar. If you have somebody that you worship together, go to the mosque together, do your dhikr together, sit down next to one another in the mosque, or exchange, advice, exchange Ramadan advice, consult one another, stimulate one another, help each other do good things and to spread kind words and acts of service that are good. Please get an accountability partner. It will go a long way in helping you in achieving your Ramadan goals. Don't underestimate that. I would really like you not to underestimate that. Yes, I'm still referring to my journal so that I don't forget anything for you, all right? Now, yes, apart from, sorry, I didn't mention that for the dates, potassium is a major, 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 major constituent of dates. It will help you, and potassium helps with your muscles. It helps with your skeletal muscle movement. And so if you eat that, it's fantastic in helping rejuvenate you. All right. So take your potassium. It's fantastic. Also, as I said before, sharing is caring. Yes, sharing is caring. Always make sure that you share during Ramadan. It will go a long way. How about the Eid? What did I do during Eid? For Eid, I had a plan and I executed my plan. My plan for Eid was that number one, after my suhoor, I changed, I had a bath and I changed into my Eid clothes. I achieved that. I achieved that. And then I walked very early to the mosque. I was determined to perform my Eid prayers in the mosque last year. And I achieved it because I had it planned in my head and I was focused. I did not procrastinate. I did not underplan or overplan. I just planned it carefully in my head and I executed it. And so I was able to pray my two nafil prayers, my two sunnah prayers at the mosque before the call for the Fajr prayers were done in the mosque. So I got my two nafil rak'ahs before the Fajr prayers were called. I got my two Fajr prayers, all right? I sat down, I did dhikr before the call to prayer for Eid was done. I got the Eid prayers, and after the Eid prayer, before the Eid prayers, I listened to the khutbah. After the khutbah, I performed my Eid. I performed my Eid prayers. After the Eid prayers, I was also able to do some more Sunnah prayers. It was fantastic, and I know that that was a great achievement last year. I have other plans in another journal, not here, for this year. I hope I'll be able to achieve them. If you'd like to know what I plan for this year, do let me know, and I could do another video with my plan on what I plan to achieve this year. Otherwise, probably we'll see next year when I'm telling you about what I achieved this year, in this year's Ramadan, next year. All right. So for the Eid, yes, Eid. After the Eid prayers, I came back home and we exchanged foods. We exchanged healthy foods with my friends and with my neighbors. And we wished one another happy Ramadan. Taqabballah, happy Eid. Taqabballah minna wa minkum. May Allah accept it from you and from us. And yes, so these are some of the things that I achieved. I hope I've mentioned everything. If I have not, I'll probably mention them probably in my community posts. So I hope you enjoyed it. Don't fall off the bus this Ramadan. Achieve your Ramadan health goals and let's go. I'm Dr. Hadiza Marlia Suleiman, your favorite holistic reconstructive surgeon, signing out.